Did you know that most people exceed their recommended sugar intake by drinking just one soda in one day? According to the article, Shocking Facts About Sugar, Michaela states, many teenagers drink a can of soft drink a day. And with around 9 teaspoonfuls of sugar in a can, this alone pushes them over their recommended guidelines. And because there is an abundance of sugar in food and drinks today, many people are trying to find ways to reduce their sugar intake by eating foods with artificial sweeteners in them. However, there are consequences of consuming artificial sweeteners because they pose just many health problems among the body. And these are a few of them. Consuming artificial sweeteners in foods can lead to a wide range of health problems, including obesity, heart disease, and dysbiosis. So our first one is, how much of a problem is obesity? It is one major health problem caused by eating artificial sweeteners. And it is caused by a long-term intake of artificial sweeteners, and this result is an excessive buildup of adipose tissue. In the article, The Bitter Truth About Artificial Sweeteners, it is stated that, according to a study that followed thousands of San Antonio residents for a decade, those who drank more than 21 servings of diet drinks a week were at twice the risk of becoming overweight. And it just causes a temptation to eat more. It really tricks our taste buds into the different flavors because it's much sweeter than sugar, and it really just builds your taste buds to a resistance. And it can become very addictive because it overstimulates your taste buds, and the risk is growing. So a second problem, heart disease. It is a second serious health problem. A recent study was conducted by the American Heart Association and reported that people who regularly drank beverages that contained these sweeteners were related with high risk of stroke and other health problems, according to GoodRx.com. And also according to NIH.gov, researchers have found a very common artificial sweetener, erythritol, that is leading to more risk of heart attack and stroke. And scientists have actually found in lab studies that adding erythritol to platelets causes the blood clot formation to increase. So a third problem associated with sweeteners is dysbiosis. So dysbiosis actually changes your stomach's microbiome, and it's just the health levels of good and bad bacteria. And two major sweeteners, two common ones, saccharin and sucralose, these lead to dysbiosis, and it's just the imbalance of good and bad bacteria in your stomach. And some side effects are bloating, migraines, anxiety, and autoimmune conditions. And ways that society can really just reduce the use of them are your community can start local farms to provide fresh fruit and vegetables for supermarkets. And you just start having farmers markets every weekend in communities really provides families with fresh sources of fruits and vegetables. And just a way to start small that you yourself can reduce, can cut out artificial sweeteners out of your life, is to start with natural sources of sugar like honey, fruit juice, molasses, those certain sources of sugar. And drink plenty of water, and try to avoid products in grocery stores with artificial sweeteners. And just eat more fresh fruits, vegetables, and sources of protein. And what will happen if artificial sweeteners are not reduced? More young people are just really going to have more health problems and risk. It truly is a problem because it's not good for our bodies, and more cases such as heart disease and obesity are going to be more common in people's lives, and there are more risk of health issues that will arise. So artificial sweeteners cause much health problems, and these problems are increasing, like we talked about, obesity, heart disease, and dysbiosis. Now, there are much more that are actually causing people to have migraines, and like I said, anxiety, mental health problems. And I read an article that when people cut these out of their life, they felt so much better. They felt just that they could think clearly. They were out to go out and do things with their day, and they just felt so much better. They didn't feel so dragged down, and they greatly just need to be reduced because they're just posing health problems among people. And like I said in this picture, farmers markets would be a really good way to provide people with fresh sources of vegetables. And even at the farmers markets, you can provide like honey, fruit juice, molasses. People can make homemade items. Now you do have to be careful because some people who do make the homemade items might add these, but just ask them. But most of the time, if it's homemade honey, it's just gonna have the honeycomb in it. But like I said, it needs to be reduced, and if we reduce it, the young generation will be able to have a healthy lifestyle, and it will just make people healthier in general. Thank you.